Hello, hello, ladies. Hello. كل سنة وانتم طيبين. Those of you who I didn't get to see on, what was it, last week or the week before, the Ramadan class? Yeah, the week before. Yeah. How's everybody? Hi, Karen. Hi, Hiba and Sally. I'm coming to you very comfortable today from my couch.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
You're not cold, Dana? I started wearing layers. Today it's cold.
I'm not. And I think for me, once the really like deep cold goes away, I'm fine. Like this kind of weather is my favorite kind of weather, actually, where it's still a little bit cold, but not too hot. This is perfect for me. All right, we are recording. So ladies, this is our last, I mean, I'm not teaching today, it's just a Q&A video, but it's our last educational video. Our final session in 2 weeks is just the celebration class. We're just gonna talk about everybody's wins and breakthroughs and successes. So today is our last educational one. So, and it's open just for you to ask anything that you need to ask of me. The group will close, the Facebook group, I will close that down April 4th. So just a reminder again that if you need to copy paste any of anything I shared in the group, if you know, there's an infographic, there's a photo, there's a thread of conversation, me answering certain questions, you have from now until April 4th to go in and copy paste, download whatever you need. I'm going to give you one link for all of these sessions. So you save that link, it's a YouTube link. When you go to it, you'll find all of our sessions in chronological order, so you can go back and rewatch them. I think I've already shared that link. I think so, but I'll be sharing it again anyway. So again, if you want to go back, and I recommend you do, and whatever you've missed in those sessions, go back and watch them. If you haven't, go back and rewatch so that you can, in the group, come in the next few weeks and ask whatever sort of last minute, you know, missing bits and pieces for you that I can help you before we wrap up our time together. All right. What else do I need to say? Oh, I would love for any of you to do a video testimonial, please. As you know, your hard work is what's really going to inspire other women to come in and take this journey for themselves. Naturally, I'm going to always be talking about how this works. Eat so you can heal yourself. Eat so you can heal your hormones. Eat so you can change your life. But me saying it is one thing, and my community and women who are hesitant, are afraid, want to make a change, but are, you know, don't have the confidence, when they hear from actual real life ladies in my community who've gone through the process, this has been a game changer. So I'll write a post on it in the Facebook group. Basically, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. If you're not comfortable with video, that's totally fine. You can do a written testimonial also. But remember what we talked about early on in the program, that ripple effect, that there could be one person out there, literally one person out there who's watching, waiting, and they just need that little nudge to make this change in their life. And it literally could be reading your testimonial, watching your testimonial video that just gets them to say, right, this is what I'm going to do. So you are very, very powerful, ladies. You've gone through the journey, you've gone through the ups and downs. You are where all of these ladies are right now. Where you were 3 months ago is where all of them are right now. And, you know, think of what got you to start this journey, and think of maybe it was reading about somebody's success and reading about how somebody overcame her fears. So you are really, really powerful in the kind of influence that you can have simply because you have taken yourself through this journey. So I will post that in the group with the instructions, and I would love it if all of you could do this, because everybody's has such a unique experience. Nobody is the same. And just like all the women out there, not everybody's exactly the same. So maybe Sally is going to influence one woman out there, and Hiba is going to influence a different kind of woman. So if you're shy or if you're hesitant, reach out to me, especially about the video. It's not that difficult to do. But then again, like I said, the written testimonial, and for the written testimonial, if you also prefer to remain anonymous, definitely we can do that also. All right. Okay, who wants to start off with our questions? Raise your hand. No questions? Go ahead, Sally.
I don't have really a question. Maybe I like to share.
Sure.
It's really, yeah, we affect each other. Like a relative of mine joined after we started, maybe the last day before we started, because I was just sharing how I felt and how it is.
Yeah.
So I
Who's your
know
relative? Who?
Shahira.
Which Shahira? Hang on.
She just joined after Garyani, El Garyani.
Oh, yeah, she just joined. See?
So
And I
it
mean,
was
and
just,
were
I
you
was just sharing. Yeah, it was
exactly?
just,
You were just, yeah.
I was just talking about how it feels and how it's life changing. And she has an autoimmune as well. And, you know, we were sharing and
Yeah.
then she was disencouraged, you know, at the
Yeah.
point. And then when she found me on it, she
Yeah.
joined.
Yeah, it's like it's not it's not hypothetical anymore, right? When there's a person you know, or there's a real life person talking about it, it's just not me, you know, sort of sharing things that are just really just. I mean, they're not just theory, but for a lot of people, it's just sort of out there. It's like it's kind of a crazy world. Like nobody really does this, so it's incredible how powerful. And you weren't even trying to convince her or anything. You were just talking about yourself. That's how powerful it is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
But I have a problem, Dana, with the recipes. I'm not, I noticed that my pace, I have a very slow pace in picking up all the things you give us, you know, because I'm
No, that
still,
this is your pace. It's not a slow pace. Everybody
okay.
does it at their own pace. No such thing as a slow pace.
So I found myself in Ramadan sticking to few recipes and repeating.
Amazing.
Although very, very creative ones, I find it difficult to start one, even the desserts or all this. And then when I saw today a friend, a colleague now sharing her recipe, I found very easy to do it, and I'm doing it actually tonight, the
Okay.
pudding. So I wanted to tell you it would be nice for everybody who يعني tries a new recipe to share on the group, because it encourages. You know, when I saw the
Yes.
carrot soup, why am I keeping on the vegetable and the
Yeah.
broccoli? I can do the
Yeah.
carrot, you know?
Yeah. Well, part of that is your comfort zone also. We keep getting to a comfort zone and staying in it, right? So evolving and growing is a continual state of moving out of your comfort zone. So you got really comfortable, and you know that you get results also with certain recipes. Like, you know, why should I do something different? Like I do this, I know how long it takes me to do it. Maybe I know the recipe even by heart now, and it works. Makes me feel good, makes me feel great. So your brain is like, why complicate things, right? Why go and do more work, more effort? And then what if it doesn't turn out good? What if what if it bloats me after I've gotten rid of bloating? Like it could be many things. I know for myself personally, I do the same thing. I will stick with my tried and tested recipes all the time, especially because my family, we eat together. So I the worst thing for me is just try a new healthy recipe, and it takes me longer than the other recipes, and then I put it for my family to eat and they're like, ugh. So after like all these hours of work, you know, nobody likes it. So definitely there's always going to be a little risk there, but I can also tell you that every once in a while, you don't want boredom. You never want boredom, because boredom is if you start to spiral into too much boredom with your recipes, with your food, that is going to take you potentially in another direction. So it doesn't have to be that you're trying a new recipe every single day. I try and do a new recipe like once every 2 weeks or once a month even, right? Something new. And it's always going to take you a little bit longer the first time you make it. Always. I mean, remember how long it used to take you to make a smoothie at the beginning, right? Or celery juice, you know, the washing the celery, and now it's just like this. So it's the same process with every new recipe. So just I would say commit to one new recipe a month. Like your brain can get on board with that, right? It's not anybody can try a new recipe once a month, right? You're not overloading or overwhelming your critter brain by saying, you know what, we're going to make a new recipe every single day for Ramadan. Critter brain's going to shut down. You're not going to do anything, not even one. So commit.
It's very
Yeah.
comforting.
Yeah.
I thought I was very lazy or very slow, and I was
No.
judging myself.
No. So think about what really would, how can you be successful? Set yourself up for success. Do you think a new recipe on the weekend, maybe when you have more time, potentially, or during Ramadan, you want to try a new recipe once a week, once a month, maybe you just want to try a dessert. So think of something that you know is going to happen, because 17 different new recipes in the Ramadan probably is not going to happen. Probably, right? And then you're going to feel like I failed, I didn't do it, but it's only because the goal was really not one that you were going to have. We always have to have the critter brain on board. It's not going to support for you, right? For you, because you just, but for somebody who's regularly been trying new recipes, right? Like somebody who's already been doing a new recipe every single day, if she sets a goal of a new recipe every single day for Ramadan, I'm going to do 20 new recipes. That's within her, she functions normally like this. So understand where you're at. And like I said, this is to your point of you're slow. Nobody's slow. Everybody has a different pace. Everybody has different circumstances. Everybody doesn't love the kitchen. I mean, that's also a factor. I mean, I cook and I spend a good 2 hours a day minimum in the kitchen because I truly believe this is what you need for health. Do I love it? No, I don't love it. I don't, but there are some people who love it. Like you tell them, what would you love to do in your free time? Oh, cook. I love cooking. I love baking. Baking, it soothes me. It's like my meditation. And I have such respect for people like that, because I'm like, I just want to, 2 hours. Like I've made it 2 hours because that's just like the minimum time that I can be in there, because I know the value of it. So you need to see where you're at and then adjust accordingly.
Thank you so much, Dana.
You're
It's
welcome.
very soothing.
Yeah, I think just from especially this month, seeing people's comments in the Ramadan group, because I'm only with the Ramadan group for a shorter period of time, and we only did one session. So the questions are things that obviously, had we been together from the beginning, I would have covered them each day. So just seeing sort of people's perception of the process, that it's about being perfect. It's about doing everything incredibly right. It's about never making a mistake. Was it you, Sally, who just said we can't have kahk? We needed a kahk replacement? Was that you? I saw that thread quickly right now before I came on. No, ladies, have your kahk. Come on. It's going to be Eid, right? I'll talk about that in the group, but the problem with the desserts during Eid or during Ramadan is that we feel like we have to do them every single day, or like, we have to have the first day, second day, and third day, have it for breakfast with our coffee first day, and then have it after lunch for dessert, and then have it with tea later on, and then do that for 3 days. That's where the problem is, right? The problem is not you wake up awal yawm al-Eid and what an amazing feeling it is, and you have 1 or 2 in the morning with your family or whatever. No, those are things and traditions we want to keep. Like that's what Eid is about, like having the first day, having your basbousa or kunafa or whatever, yes, to enjoy. The problem is that for some reason we think we need to do that for 30 days, or we need to do that for all 3 days of Eid. That's when it becomes a problem, not when you have 1 or 2 on the morning of Eid. So no, enjoy it guilt-free, and know and celebrate. Like there are times for celebration, and that's, if you guys recall, one time I was telling you that there's times to heal the physical and there's times to focus on the emotional and the mental. So the morning of Eid is the time to nurture your emotions and your social life and your family and the celebration. Morning of Eid is not the time to focus on the physical. You just enjoy it. You're welcome. All right, Hiba, go ahead.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Ramadan Kareem to all of you.
Akram. Thank you.
Dana, I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
First, when I started with your detox plan at the beginning, I had too many withdrawal symptoms,
Yes.
actually. But one of them, I still have. the way. One of them started at the first 10 days. I told you I have the pain in my left kidney.
Yeah.
Actually, I found out it's not my kidney.
What is it?
It's my pelvic joint.
Okay.
It hurts so deep. It's burning, and it's continuing, and it's starting to be harder and harder. Until 2 days ago, I went to the doctor. He told me you have this inflammation in the joint.
Yeah.
And he gave me a lot of medicines, but I really took them. I took the medicine. I know it's very heavy on my stomach, but I had to take them because I couldn't move. Last week, I wasn't able to move at all.
Did he tell you what the cause of the inflammation was?
No, he did not say anything. He told me, I even told him, give me something to do MRI, or he told me, no, this is what you're saying, just take the medicine.
And did he tell you what the medicine is supposed to do?
Go.
Hiba, معلش,
Go with symptoms still now.
Can you repeat, please? Because I didn't hear anything you said.
It's anti-inflammatory medicine.
All right.
Something called Celebrex and Ambizim, حاجة كده تقريبا.
Okay.
I took it only twice. So
And
my question is this normal to have this?
Yeah. So I just to make sure that I'm clear. So this didn't come after a period of going back to like wheat or dairy or processed sugar or too much animal protein or anything like that?
No, I had some mistakes, but not very big mistakes. And I did eat some products with wheat, but not a lot, and not daily, not on a daily basis.
Can you recall the frequency?
Yes, maybe the week before Ramadan. Maybe 5 times I tasted rice, piece of bread.
And then
no, less than 5.
And then this happened, after? Well, it was during or before or when?
No, it started to pop up when I started the detox.
Okay.
And it goes and you know what I mean? It comes and goes.
Okay.
And then now I have it for now 10 days.
Okay.
Even 10 days.
Okay. So
but very strong.
So this was a detox symptom for you, a detox withdrawal symptom from the very beginning. And what can happen with joint pain specifically is our joints is where we'll have collections of toxins, specifically if there's an overload of things like Epstein-Barr virus, if there's an overload of calcifications, they're going to go to the joints. And once we start detoxing, little by little, they're going to leave the joints, and that can be uncomfortable. It can be quite painful, and it's not steady because the detox process is never linear. It's not one straight line. So what you were feeling were deep detox symptoms, and then you aggravated them a little bit more by taking in some more of the toxins. So when you take the medicine, this might give you the temporary relief. It might lower the inflammation a little bit. Remember, the inflammation in and of itself is a healing process. Remember this, like inflammation at its core is the process. It's a response initially. So the body initiates inflammation to heal. If you let's say that you had injured your pelvic bone on the outside, right? Let's say you fell and you bumped and there was a bruise, or you fell and you scraped it and there's a deep cut, and then it starts to heal, the cut starts to heal, turns a little bit red, maybe a scab forms, and then the scab falls off. That is the process of inflammation. It's an
Yeah.
innate response. It's like a switch. The body turns it on when there's an injury, whether that's internal or external. So the fact that we see inflammation means in this case there was toxicity being removed from the body, so the body wants to help this healing process, and inflammation is one of the ways that it does that. So the problem with inflammation is when it becomes chronic. So when the body continues to initiate the response, the healing response over and over and over and over and over again, we get chronic inflammation, and then it turns against us. And that's when chronic inflammation turns into a disease or a problem. So when you take the medication, it might decrease the inflammation for a little bit. So if this inflammation was meant to be healing, it means the medicine is interfering with a healing process. If it really was a case of chronic inflammation that was working against you, then this medication is going to help, but it's not getting to the root cause. So I'm just telling you this for your information so you're clear on what's happening in your body right now. So once you stop taking the medication and then it comes back again, you need to understand it was because either the process was interrupted, or now that you've taken the medication, your body then has to detox from the medication also, which can show up as another, what we call healing crisis of discomfort and pain. So
Okay.
the detox withdrawal symptoms and the healing crises can go in cycles. So you can feel great, and then all of a sudden you'll have periods of, it can be very bad discomfort for some people. It will clear up, and then you can go for a very long period of time feeling great and you think you're done and healed, and then all of a sudden, when you least expect it, you might get more discomfort. And that's because toxins, and when we're looking at viruses and pathogens, they're really, really deeply entrenched in our bodies. Whatever it is any of you are clearing out, especially with an autoimmune, it didn't get there like a month before you were diagnosed, or even a year. It's been building for many, many years before it finally broke out with the symptoms, and then you get a diagnosis. So when you detox, it clears off a layer, you feel great, and then detoxes deeper and deeper, clears out another layer. There's many, many layers to this. So if every single time, I mean, I realize that if it's very painful, at the most, I would take a painkiller because it's not torture either, right? We're not going to get tortured in this process either. But every single time you're going to take,
it was so painful.
yes. But you just need to be very, very well aware, like be empowered in the process, and know that, right, I'm going to take this medicine now because it was unbearable, but here's what's going to happen afterwards, and know what to expect as you go through this healing journey. And so every single time you decide to take medication, you will suppress the healing process, and then your body has to work double time. It has to then go back to healing, which is what it was doing, and then it has to heal from the medication again. But again, nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has gone wrong, right? This is your
I don't have to worry.
No, this is your first time to detox, right? Anybody who goes through it for the first time, it can be really scary. And then, especially if you don't completely 100% understand your body and understand the signals and understand how your body's healing, and it can be scary, right? And so our first sort of go-to, it will be a doctor, like, find out what's happening with me. That's a normal knee-jerk reaction. Eventually, you want to get to a point where you really understand your symptoms, you really understand what's happening to your body, that even if you want to go to a doctor, at least the element of fear is not there. You're just going to make sure maybe that there's nothing else, right? You're going to make sure that, like you said, you thought it was your kidneys, but it turned out to be something else. But the idea is when you get really confident in your body and really, really dialed into the symptoms, there's no more fear and there's no more worry. So there is nothing to worry about, Hiba. It can continue to be uncomfortable, but it is part of your healing process.
Okay, so it's okay if it's very painful, I can take a painkiller, because I can't bear also this medicine he subscribed, because it was very heavy on my stomach. I again got this burning, heartburn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
take a painkiller to help you get through the little, you know, the little obstacle until it always reaches a peak and then it gets better, by all means, because also a body that's in too much pain, when you say unbearable, that means it's too much pain. It's not just a little bit of discomfort, but when it's too much pain, it makes it harder to heal. If a body's way, way too much in pain. So it's about finding that balance. So yeah, painkiller, yeah.
I even started to again to work out, and then I stopped when it was very painful. I thought I have injured myself, but no, I know it started way before I started again working out.
And this wasn't something like it's never happened before. It's not something pre-existing on any level.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. I had this disc in my lower back before.
Right.
But it was disc in my spine.
Okay.
A year ago. But no, this and this pain, this kind of pain, no, it's first time in my life.
Okay.
To feel it.
I don't know if you have access to a swimming pool, or at least maybe not now, maybe soon. But in this instance, this would be the best kind of workout for you to do, where there's no impact on your joints. It's a very easy flowing, because there's no impact, you won't feel the pain, at least until you get through this period. This would be one of the best ways for you to continue to move your body.
Okay. Second question.
Yeah.
I'm always hungry. I don't know why. I still fast till now because I have my period. But I'm always hungry, and I'm eating everything and trying to eat a lot of portions. But I still, why I'm hungry. And when I get to eat, when I start eating, I only eat small portion and then I'm full.
So that's
I don't know why.
Okay. So that's good. So this just proves to us that it's not an actual physical hunger. This is emotional hunger. If you eat the small portion and you're full, that means you've gotten rid of the physical, the biochemical addictions are gone. Your body is not controlling you in terms of what you eat, but the fact that you always want to eat, this is emotional.
Okay.
This is emotional. So this is where, you know, this is harder than addressing physical issues, like facing our emotional triggers. And most people don't want to do that. Like, it's a lot easier for people to cut out the food and get over their physical cravings and follow the meal plan than it is for people to look at their emotional triggers, because it takes more work, and because so much of how we've been sort of programmed to deal with our emotional triggers allows us, right? Like, it's one of the things we use to have our comfort food. So it's a lot harder to look at that, and a lot harder. It's not impossible, right? It's not that you're not going to be successful. It just requires another level of work. And so if you're feeling like this is really too much, I'm always hungry, then every time that you are hungry outside of the general times for eating, this is the time where you would actually have to sit and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? You know, the exercise I put a few days ago, what am I feeling in my body? What is this physical sensation? What does this feel like? What is this feeling? Allow the feeling to go through you, whatever it is, the 90-second practice that I posted a few days ago. That's what that is for. It's sort of a shortcut, if you will, a shortcut to identifying your emotional triggers, so that at least there's sort of a timeout before you automatically go to eating. At least it lets you think about what you're actually feeling, what is actually happening in your body in terms of the sensations, to identify the sensations and then label the sensations with a feeling. And then you can ask yourself, okay, why am I feeling this feeling? Like, what happened? Am I tired? Am I bored? Am I lonely? Am I resentful? Am I sad? And instead of then going to the food to calm this feeling down. You're going to let it flow through you, actually feel it. The reason that we always go to food is because, one, we never want to identify what's happening. We just want to stuff it down and just ignore it and get on with our lives. And two, we don't want to acknowledge these difficult emotions, right? So resentment, fear, anger, sadness, grief, they're uncomfortable feelings. Nobody wants to feel uncomfortable. So start by doing that. Even if you end up still eating afterwards, at least do this exercise to start to train your brain to, and yourself, to be aware, be wary of like, what am I like? This is a way to identify with yourself and to connect with yourself, because as long as you're just going for the food, there's a disconnect between you and your feelings. So even if you still go for the food, I want you to work on connecting with the feeling and the sensation in your body and identify the feeling, and then see if you still want to eat.
I thought about it several times. It's always related with either I'm nervous or I'm angry, or yeah, it's always related with the feeling. Yes.
Okay, and then can you identify why you're nervous or why you're angry?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. No.
Okay,
I can.
so keep working on that identification process more, and then add to that why, like what causes the anger, what causes the anxiousness, like what is the trigger? Like, is it something in your environment? Is it a person? Is it a situation that then you can either avoid, preempt it, get ahead of it so that it doesn't keep triggering you? And then the step after that would be, because we know that we can't control people, we can't control circumstances, we can only control how we feel. So are you going to continue to let this circumstance, the person, the situation, whatever it is, to lead you to feeling angry or anxious and then having to eat? So this is what's in your control. Whatever the circumstance is leading you to this, you cannot change that. Go back to the thought model session that we did. This is what this is for.
Okay.
Because as long as you, and this is it's no fault of your own, we're all like this. As long as we're always like, oh, well, I'm sad because of so-and-so said this to me, or I'm anxious because I feel like things are really unstable around me. Well, things are unstable around you. There's somebody who is mistreating you, or somebody who says things that you interpret in a certain way that makes you feel sad or anxious. That's on you to change. And that's the part that I say that takes work, that most people avoid doing.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Karen, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't have so much to ask, but because I think this was one of the, I don't know, biggest amazing thing in my life, what I experienced.
Oh, that's amazing, Karen. So happy for you.
Because I was preparing myself that I will have lots of side effects and I will feel probably very bad. I didn't have any of that. Only first day slight headache, and it's just been absolutely amazing for me. But what I have now is I never had that much craving for sugary things, but now it's coming. So I think it's just emotional. So do you have any recommendation what I can do? I know I'm trying to, I honestly will say that apples, I think I eat too much apples, so I need to do break a little bit from apples. Dates is okay still. I will say I have a bag of dates with me all the time. But is there something that I can, if I have this feeling, because I don't usually craving any cakes. And I think one of the good things, because let's say that Ramadan dessert is not my kind of dessert, so I don't have any issue with that. I don't crave any of them,
Right.
but I want something.
So has this started since Ramadan?
No, because I don't have this. I think Egyptian have this, that the Ramadan is certain things that like I have in my country also, certain occasions we have
Yes.
certain things, and that's how it is, habits.
Right.
I don't have it. So, but it was starting in some point that I, probably because my family around me doing that.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah.
let me just give general advice about this to everybody. Specific to Ramadan is one reason you, if any of you might have felt like your sugar cravings were gone, you weren't needing the things that you needed before, and then maybe it feels like it's creeping up on you a little bit in Ramadan. One is that we have memories, right? We have emotional attachments to certain foods and certain occasions and certain times of the year, and certain, like attachments, like to things maybe that your mother made or your grandmother made. So whenever you see them or you smell them, it literally brings you back, and then you want to recreate that experience. So that's one thing, maybe because your family is here, Karen, and maybe you associate being family around certain, with consuming certain types of food. It could be that Ramadan just triggers those emotional memories for people, that, Ramadan this is how we celebrate Ramadan. Like it's entrenched in the memories in your cells for everybody. But the other reason that this can happen, especially during Ramadan, is we are, by fasting, initially this tapers off also, but in the first week or so, there's a deficit created during the day when you are regularly fueling your body properly, and then all of a sudden you're not. So by the end of the day, when it's time to break our fast, your body is trying to make up for this deficit. And that's why you can feel more hungry than usual. So this is absolutely normal. We might interpret that hunger, because we typically associate hunger with kind of a sugar craving, but you understand where that's coming from. So the body realizes that hasn't eaten in over 12, 15, sometimes 18 hours for some people if they sleep early. And then it's time to eat at 6 o'clock, and your body and your mind are connected. Your body knows that 6 o'clock, right, the day's almost over and we have this deficit of nutrients. So we need to make up for this deficit before she goes to sleep. So this is why you might have a perfectly healthy iftar and you really don't, and you feel full, like you don't feel like you can even eat anymore. But then there's like a nagging hunger that creeps up a couple of hours later. This is because your body is always trying to balance itself. So it's thinking, okay, she's only had one meal today. Okay, yes, we're fasting, but there's a deficit here, and it's going to give you a hunger signal. So it's never sort of black and white with the body. That's why I'm saying you have to really be in tune and dialed into the different symptoms and signals that you get. So if you think about this way, Karen, if it's creeping up on you because your family's here, I want to say this is more of an emotional attachment, emotional memory to certain things. And it's always related to, most of the time, it's related to a traditional food, or it's related to some kind of sweet or dessert, usually. Beyond that, tap into your hunger levels after you eat iftar. If you see like there's more hunger happening there also, just remind yourself that your body's just trying to make up. So if you need to eat, definitely go and eat. If you need to repeat even your iftar, maybe even smaller portion or even the same portion, go ahead and do it. If it's something specifically sweet that you want, you can't overdo apples. If you love apples, keep having them, keep having the dates. Maybe you want to try, I mean, I know for me, I've been having that fruit salad every single night for suhoor, and it's really been hitting the spot. I put honey on it and the vanilla on it, and it really tastes like a dessert. So maybe you want to try a different kind of fruit. Like it could also be your body's getting there's a sort of threshold for the sugar that you are taking. So try different kind of fruits together. Maybe have a smoothie afterwards and see how that feels, Karen. It's going to always be a bit of trial and error until you figure it out. But from the sounds of it, it sounds like, I mean, whenever I go to my mother, whenever, any time of year, anytime I go to my mother and I'm and I'm not hungry and I would have just eaten and she's not even making food, I'm just passing by. But anytime I go to my mother, I feel like I have to eat all the food that's not healthy because that's just an automatic association with my mother. This is, we go to my mom's house and there's nothing optimally healthy there. And she's all about feeding us, you know, the traditional foods and the melted cheese and all the things that our mother's generation like to feed us. So it doesn't matter what time, what year, what day, what week, what month it is. I go to my mother's and this switch just goes on. It's just how I relate to my mother. So see which one of those is the one that sounds more intuitively, feels like what's happening for you, Karen.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sally, go ahead.
Yes, Dana, I wanted to share that first day of Ramadan, it was my first time I eat meat since a year, almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, second time. I mean, I did it once before, first time. And I wasn't afraid. Yani, I ate it with enjoyment.
Yeah.
A lamb,
Yeah.
very soft.
Mm.
And I actually tried also a small slice of yogurt, Mandarin Kuwaiter yogurt, the ice cream tart,
Yeah.
berry tart.
Yeah.
This amount, and I was satisfied, which is not my usual. I used to eat
Right.
half of the tart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until now, when I recall, it gives me a very good sensation. I'm happy with it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very strange how little. And I took plenty of salad. I took the salad with me over for the family iftar, and everybody enjoyed it. And I took a very big bowl,
Good.
and it was okay. I mean, I
It was
didn't
okay.
need more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
And then
not,
I took
you're
a
not
bowl of fruit salad as well
amazing.
to have it beside all other stuff.
It's you're not the same person physiologically this Ramadan than you were last Ramadan. So, and especially, I mean, you've been doing this for a while, you put in all that work and you have reached that level, you know, we discussed it before that you have reached this level of being intuitive and mindful and losing the fear. I mean, we talk so much about eating the optimally healthy healing foods, right? And these are the foods that in order to stay symptom free, in order to you know, prevent disease, in order to should be the things you're focusing on. But that doesn't mean that you fear the other foods, right? It doesn't mean that you're afraid of having yogurt, or afraid of having a piece of cheese, or afraid of having a burger, or afraid. We don't want to be afraid, because every time you're afraid, that's diet, that's restrictive, right? Healing is not about the fear. Healing is understanding your body, knowing how you're nurturing and taking care of your body most of the time, and knowing that because you're doing that, you can go out and have whatever you want, experiment, you know, have meat after a year, have a yogurt dessert after a year, knowing that you can enjoy it. You might not have enjoyed it. I mean, also there's that possibility. You could have had the meat, you could have had the yogurt dessert and not enjoyed it and still be okay with it. Like, be okay with any outcome because you've put in the work to create that foundation. So we no longer fear food. We understand how it works. We're always choosing what's best for us. And then sometimes if we choose things that are not optimally healthy, we're choosing them for another reason, which is healthy for us on a different level, right? Because it's the first day of Ramadan, because it's the first day of Eid, because we have family over. So this is what happens when you get to that level of intuitive and mindful eating connected to healing. Like that's how healing works. You let go of the fear because you're not afraid of how your body's going to react. You understand the symptoms, you understand the triggers, you understand how your body's going to overcome it now. So I was going to say something and I lost my train of thought. Oh, and then when you take the salad and when you take the fruit salad, right? One, you're inspiring others, okay? And this is it, like you are ensuring that you have what you need when you go out to these places. And people might laugh at you, they might mock you, but the salad was finished, right? And I bet you anything, the fruit salad.
Everybody was commenting because I put so much effort in it.
Yes.
And it was very big, a huge bowl. So everybody was really trying it, and commenting. But people are encouraging. I don't feel that they make fun because they see the impact
Touch
on me.
wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch wood, touch.
But I have a side effect. I'm not sure it's a side effect from this meat for the third day of Ramadan, or it's my menopausal, symptoms, I'm passing through. I'm still having actually a pain from, I don't know, it's the urinary tract or the vagina,
Oh,
very, very, very sharp one when I pee. Very
since,
sharp.
since that day?
Yeah, but not that day, after third day of Ramadan.
And did you have anything else? Did you have protein again after or anything after those days?
Yesterday I had a little bit of the same meat again with my relatives.
Okay. And then the pain is still there.
Actually, after the third day, it went like gradually كده. I thought it disappeared for a
Yeah.
day, and then it started again.
Okay. So here's the thing, anytime your body's
There's
gonna
a little
react,
bit of the spots of brown spots like blood or something, little bit.
in your urine.
Yeah, not sure. I'm not sure it's from my period thing, menopausal thing, or
Okay.
from the. I'll check tomorrow. I have an appointment tomorrow, but
Okay.
I cannot know.
Right, right. I mean, if it was in your urine, you would see it in the toilet bowl,
Yeah. No, it's
right?
in the. Yeah. I
But
understand.
if
No,
it's not, if it's in your tissue or something, yeah,
Yeah.
that's vaginal discharge, more likely than not. Yeah. Okay. So here's something important for you to take note of is whenever we eat something that our body might potentially react to, it could take up to 3 days for the reaction. It could take anywhere from 10 minutes to 3 days for your body to have a reaction to something that it's not, it's the body's like, okay, this is not working for me. Okay. So it could be you had the meat or the yogurt. So you had both on that day. And so the yogurt is dairy. It's also a lot of sugar in that dessert. You'll be surprised because look at how clean you've been, right? That's all it would do. That's all it would take. And then the animal protein, you don't know if it was grass-fed, hormone-free. Do you know what it was cooked in? Was it cooked in?
Grass-fed. I know the second one was surely grass-fed, but
Okay.
this one I'm not sure. No, they
Right.
they use not butter, the samna, but they say
Okay.
yeah.
So lots of things that day that your body has eliminated and your body has, it's just not used to having to process anymore. So this it could do both. If it's a urinary tract issue, it could have triggered that. If it's something related to your reproductive system, I mean, I know whenever I eat red meat, that night I get a night sweat. Like it's that automatic. So it could be also. But typically we don't worry about things if they happen once. So this would only be something for you to consider or to really keep track of what you're eating and the pattern. If this recurs, like if it's something that's it's not healing itself, like the body's not rebalancing itself, whenever we see like a one-off spotting in a month and then it's gone, it doesn't come back, then that's not a big deal. So you keep an eye on it and keep track of it. And this is where you would use your food diary, where you want to make those connections. So I had the meat, I had the yogurt, 3 days later, this happened. So keep track of it that way to see where there's a pattern, if there is one.
Thank you, Dana. I just wanted to ask about the arasia. Are we allowed to have arasia?
The problem, in theory, yes, but the problem with all the Ramadan dried fruits and the market here, they're all full of sugar, a lot of sugar, and they're full of the preservatives. So they're full of, I forget, they're either sulfites or sulfates, I can't remember, which is a chemical preservative. So if you can find the ones that are completely dehydrated and dry, they're not going to look the same and they're not going to taste the same. So don't be shocked when there's a big difference in texture and taste and everything, but the ones that are truly dehydrated properly, those are the ones that you can have, enjoy those. And those are the ones that you can also use if you want to make, if you want to soak them and make khoshef or something, I would use those.
we can't use this in soak it in water and it gets better. It gets away the no, it doesn't work this
Well,
way, right?
I mean, in theory, I don't see why not. In theory, I don't see that why you would, the same way that we soak beans and lentils and things like that to get rid of the phytic acid, I don't see why not. I don't think it could harm. It's definitely something you could try. Yeah.
Actually, I know this information from you earlier, and I stopped eating them. But I found that I need some, booster in my stool. So I took a few.
It works. Definitely works. Yeah.
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 I mean,
Okay.
given that the rest of how you eat is so optimally healthy, it's not going to be a couple of these that you take that are really going to like offset everything that you're doing. It's okay. Okay, so wait a minute. So were you taking those also since the beginning of Ramadan?
No. This was yesterday and today.
Okay, all right. Because that would be something also to keep track of. I mean, it could be the chemicals or the sugar. Okay. All right. Try and find, there's the minis dried fruits, minis. I think they're called minis dried fruits on Instagram or on Facebook. She has the ones that are dehydrated, no sugar, no nothing. So that would be the first place to go and find them. I've seen some other ones pop up, but I haven't tried them. Hers are the only ones I've actually tried. So, go for that as your first, if you feel like you're going to have to take 6 a day, right? Like 6 couple nights is one thing, but 6 every single night for the rest of Ramadan, right? This is where you might see.
Actually, I had 6 now during the Zoom, I
Is that
continued.
why you turned off your camera?
I was encouraged with the group, I took the risk.
Yeah, so remember, things that are one-off are not the issue, but if you feel like it's helping, because our digestion can slow down for Ramadan and we can see constipation even if we were completely regular. So, and that is a natural way to relieve constipation. So if you're finding that it helps you and you need it every night, then please go and get the better version for yourself. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hiba, is it okay to repeat the chia seeds, pudding, and the fruit? Yes, you can repeat everything. Everything. I repeat everything because that's how I simplify my life. I've been having only the fruit salad for suhoor every single night. I am somebody who needs to sleep early. I don't like to stay up and wait to eat. And my husband likes the fruit salad. We have it together, the fruit salad. So I make a big bowl before Fitr time and I just put it in the fridge, and whoever wants to eat whenever they want to eat, they do it. So whatever simplifies your life, this is what you do. If there's a Fitr recipe, if there's a soup, if there's a salad, you repeat it, but remember what I said at the beginning of the call, until you start to feel bored. And then you want to bring in some variety by all means. But in terms of does it work for healing? Yes, of course, it works for you to repeat. And actually, the more fruit salad you can have, because fruits are incredibly healing. So the more fruits you can keep consuming on a regular basis, the more healing power you're consuming on a daily basis.
We're a small group today. Everybody is having Ramadan rituals.
Ramadan rituals.
We will get back to the recording.
Yeah. All right. Ghada, you don't have a question or a comment? Not putting you on the spot, just making sure that you're good. All right. Okay, ladies. So with that, I will conclude our final Q&A session. We will have our final session at the same time. I'll post it on the group, according to the majority vote. Everybody voted for evening time works better. So we just have the one celebratory class that we're going to have in a couple of weeks. Please make sure, come in and ask your questions, comments, share what's been happening with you. You're welcome, Ghada. And I will post the post about the testimonials, whether you are ready to do a video one or whether you prefer to do a written one. I will share that on the group also. And then even though this group will close April 4th, if you're participating in the Ramadan group, we will still be together until I'll close that group probably on the evening of the last day of Ramadan, inshallah. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, ladies, and I will see you all in 2 weeks, and we're together on the group. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Same to you, Diana.
You're welcome.